What up, peeps? I'm an Irish dancer. Look, I have a trophy, here's proof. Now you have to believe me. Now, the reaction I normally get from people when I tell them I'm an Irish dancer is usually a variation on the adjective cool. So what today's mission is all about is trying to explain to the general populace what exactly is Irish dancing. No one seems to know. Not even me. Now, if I was talking to someone who was over the age of 10 in the 90s, I would tell them that I do river dance. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, river dance is the name of a very popular theatrical show about performance Irish dancing that toured around the good old US of A in the mid to late 90s and many other countries. Side note, while looking up the year that river dance began, I discovered that they're actually holding a 20th anniversary tour this year, so get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the particular style of Irish dancing that I do is called competitive Irish dancing. It's different from performance Irish dancing in that it is not really meant for entertainment. It is entirely based on technique and precision and not necessarily on entertainment value. It is a fusion of traditional Irish dancing and ballet influences that focuses a lot more on technical precision than on spectacle. I think I read somewhere that Irish dancing is the worst type of dance for your body because unlike ballet where you can go from a leap and then slowly land into a flat foot position, every single jump in Irish dancing has to be landing on the ball of your foot. So you can never go flat-footed, so every time you land, it's just all of that shock is absorbed by your knees and your ankles. It's really bad for you. Now, all the point ballerinas out there will say, it's way worse. Which, yeah, it probably is. But I'm not comparing Irish dancing to point ballet, I'm comparing it to normal ballet and tap and jazz and contemporary and those basic types of dances. In that you are allowed to go flat-footed, whereas in Irish dancing you are never allowed to do that unless you're stamping, which, still puts all of that shock into your knees and your ankles. I think I'm the only dancer that I know who has never broken my ankle. Most I've ever done is rolled it. Better knock on wood. I'll go more into how competitions work later in the video. Now, time for some terminology. Okay, within competitive Irish dancing, there are about 9 different types of Irish dancing, all with their own specific types of music and shoes, but really there are only 4 that matter, and those are reels, slip jigs, hornpipes, and treble jigs, which are also called double jigs, which you ask me is really confusing, so I just call them double jigs for simplicity's sake. When people ask me what the difference is between all these different types of dances, it's pretty hard for me to explain. I would say that what makes them interesting is how completely dependent they are on the type of music that it is. You see, the name of the dance, it's both the name of the dance and the name of the music. So if I said hornpipe, hornpipe is both the name of the dance and the name of the type of music. And it all has to do with the tempo, the space between the beats, and the speed of the 8 counts. Believe it or not, most songs on the radio, like pop songs especially, have a real tempo. So I can do that type of dance to that type of music. Songs like Uptown Funk, Dynamite, and You Don't Know You're Beautiful are all reels, and they have the perfect tempo. Because even though most songs are reels, they're either way too slow or way too fast, but those songs are just perfect to dance, oddly enough. Okay, this is important because you could never do a dance choreographed as a slip jig to the song of a hornpipe, or a treble jig, or a reel, or a double reel, because, of course, it is not meant to be danced to anything other than a slip jig. It's impossible. Something else is that they all use different types of shoes. Now, there's 2 types of shoes. The first is called a soft shoe, or also called a gilly, and the second is a hard shoe. Now, reels, slip jigs, single jigs, and light jigs all use gillies, or light shoes. They're a lot like ballet shoes in design, except they're made of leather with really, really, really long laces. Hornpipes and treble jigs with their fast and slow versions included, double reels, and traditional sets use the adaptively named hard shoes. These things weigh like bricks on your feet. I'm probably just exaggerating. You'd think I was exaggerating. They're really freaking heavy. They're also made of leather like the light shoes, with the sounds not coming from taps like in tap shoes, but actually from fiberglass. Now, I took an introduction to dance class in high school where I took tap for the first time, And because I had never really heard or seen tap before, I just assumed that they make the same sounds. They don't. Me being the stubborn mule that I am, refused to buy tap shoes just for the class, so I asked the teacher if I could bring my hard shoes. She said fine, but it was only then, taking the class, that I discovered how different the shoes actually sound. Taps are light and fun, whereas fiberglass makes really deep, powerful sounds. And it was really obvious if I messed up because my shoes sounded so different than everyone else's. Hard shoes have a block in the front for going on point. And a lot of the dancers cover the bottom of the shoes in duct tape in order to keep from slipping. So usually we use black duct tape in order to blend more with the shoe, but if you're cheap like me, you just have silver duct tape. Now, I said before in the video that I was going to explain how competitions work, so this gets into the chaotic part. First of all, an Irish dance competition is called a feis, F-E-I-S. And this is the Irish word for festival, but in, the Irish dancing competitive subculture, we just use it to mean competition. Regional competitions are called oireachtas, and there are nationals, but they aren't really necessary to go to worlds, but you do need an invitation to compete in nationals. Now, I've never gone to nationals, and it never really mattered to me that much to go to oireachtas, but for some people, that is their goal. All they care about is competing and doing well in oireachtas, so fully for them. Good job. In competitions, dancers are separated based on the type of dance it is, whether it's reel, slip jig, light jig, single jig, double jig, or hornpipe, traditional set, figure dances. So they're separated by types of dances, and they are separated by their age categories and also by the level that they are. Now, the levels of Irish dancing are separated into beginner, advanced beginner, novice, prize winner, preliminary open champion, and open champion being the last category. And how you move up in these dances is slightly different. For the lower levels, you can get a first or a second place in each category, but once you start getting into the higher levels, you need 4 first places in all of your dances in order to move up to the second category. For example, if you are a novice trying to get to prize winner, for most schools, you need to get a first place in all 4 of your dances in the novice category in order to then become a prize winner and compete in the prize winner category. Now, the prize winner category is called that because it's at that level that you can start winning trophies instead of medals. Unless you're at the level of open champion, then you almost always compete with another dancer. It's you and another dancer on stage, both doing completely separate choreographies you've never met before, so you don't know what the other dancer is going to be dancing, and the judge does not know what either of you are going to be dancing or what direction you're going in. So there is a large danger of running into someone or being kicked in the face. That's never happened to me, but I have run into someone before, and someone's run into me. I think someone kicked me in the butt before, it really hurt. But yeah, it's a dangerous sport. Now, I mentioned age categories before. Now, your age in Irish dancing is all dependent on how old you were the previous January. So here's an example. Say my birthday is in September and the competition is in November. Say I turned 15 that year in September and then the competition's in November. I would not put my age as 15 when I sign up for the competition because I was not 15 the previous January. I would have to put that I was 14. And from then on, you're put into broad categories, usually 10 and over, 13 and over, 15 and over. They're separated that way. You also need a minimum of 5 competitors in each specific competitions in order to compete. So if you go up on stage and there's only 4 people up there, you can dance, but there's really no point because anything that's joined is not going to count. Now really the sweet spot number for the amount of people dancing is about 8 people. That's really the perfect number that you want. But I was recently in a competition that had 17 people in it. Not fun. But I mean, that's not even the worst of it. I once saw a group of novice dancers that had more than 20 people in it. Ugh, I would not want to be in that competition. Competitions are not separated by gender. Both male and female Irish dancers will compete in the same competition. On very rare occasions where there are a large enough number of boys to give them their own competitions, then the genders will be separated. Sessions are run by specific dance in the school and the parents in the school that volunteer to run it. So how well on schedule or how behind the schedule a competition is really dependent on the school running it. So you might sign up for a competition in a city, but if you've never been to it before, you have no idea whether it's going to be like exactly on time to the minute, or 3 hours behind. I once went to a competition in Tampa that was so far behind that I didn't finish dancing until like 6 o'clock at night. Although my family did go to Busch Gardens, so that was really fun. So when you show up the day of the feis, you are given a number. So you have your number, say your number 245. So you as a dancer have a number, and the individual competitions that you're dancing in also have numbers. And they're usually on different stages, like A, B, or C. Like at the last competition I went to, my dances were all on stage B. So you have to keep an eye on the board in front of stage B that shows you which dances are checking in, which dances are up next, and which dances are currently on. And usually you'll have a schedule printed beforehand. If you're organized like my mom, highlighted the specific dances that you're in. So then you could follow along the schedule by glancing up the stages to see which dance is coming up next, so that you know, so that you can kind of gauge how much time you have before you dance. So it's a constant waiting game, trying to figure out when you're going to be going on stage, even if you're only going to be dancing 4 times. When I was younger, I would do more dances. I would do, figure dances like 2 hands and 3 hands, plus my 4 dances, and then sometimes traditional sets at the end. A traditional set that I usually do is Garden of Daisies. It's cool, look it up. Actually, I might post a video. So I originally made this video because 2 of my friends came to my competition for the first time to watch me compete. And usually it's just my parents who come, so if you have a dance mom or a dance dad, then they know what's going on because they've been doing it with you since you were little. So having 2 people there who had no idea what was happening was a little bit weird for me. It's kind of when you're part of a subculture and you don't really realize that people outside of it have no idea about the inner workings. So I wanted to make this video to help explain to them and to the world what exactly it is that I do. So I hope this helps shed a light on the world of competitive Irish dancing. I'm Rachel, signing out. Catch you on the flip side. Brandy, you're a fine girl, what a good wife you would be. But my love, and my lady is the sea. Do 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 do.
Yes, sir, young man.